Hey everybody, it's Ron from Pick Dawgz, and this is Ron's Bank Shop Breakdown. We're going to go over 4 college basketball games for Thursday, November 28th, 2024. Happy Thanksgiving to everybody. Hope you have a great day with friends and family. I'm certainly thankful for all of your support for the Bank Shop Breakdown and Ron's Rundown these seasons, 3 years now for both of them. So thank you for that. And hopefully we have a nice day here in college hoops. We're going to go over these 4 games. If you like what you see, make sure to hit that thumbs up button and subscribe. Put your college basketball picks in the comment section below. And if you're looking for my best bets, the games I love the most in college hoops and other sports, you can find those at Pick Dawgz Premium. There's also a link in the description. All right, here we go. Here are the games for Thanksgiving Day in college basketball. First up, it's Purdue and NC State. This one's going to be 3 p.m. Eastern on Fox Sports 1. This is a neutral site game in San Diego, California. Should be a good one. NC State, of course, coming off the Final Four run from last year. And, this year's team, definitely a different look. They're still a pretty experienced team in terms of the returning production and the D1 experience overall. But I will say I don't really love the fact that they did not play a tough schedule in their first 5 games, all home games against teams outside the top 200 in KenPom. That puts them ranked 356th in strength of schedule. While on the other side, you got Purdue. They've already played Alabama at home. They won that game. That was a really impressive win. That looks more and more impressive as Alabama took down Illinois and Houston after losing that game to the Boilermakers. And then Purdue has a road game under its belt against Marquette. It lost that game. Definitely a bad loss in terms of the final score. But those types of games really get you prepared for these types of games in the neutral site. I think, Purdue's another team, Final Four run last year. They're definitely a different look without Zach Edey in there at center this season, but I still think Purdue's one of the more talented teams in college basketball. I think Matt Painter's still a very underrated head coach, and I think I'm not really too concerned with that performance against Marquette. I still like Purdue overall. I think they're the better team in this game, and I think we're getting a really good price with the Boilermakers in this matchup. So give me Purdue in this game. I like them to win it and cover the spread. Next up, we have Arkansas and Illinois. This one's going to be 4 p.m. Eastern on CBS. Another neutral site game in Kansas City, Missouri, a part of the Thanksgiving Hoop Showcase. And these are two of the younger teams in terms of the top 50, top 100 teams in KenPom. These are two younger teams as Arkansas is ranked 247th in Division I experience, Illinois at 307. There's a lot, especially Illinois, a lot of young NBA caliber talent in terms of the recruiting class that Brad Underwood brought in. And, I think both of these teams are going to have their moments more so in the regular season. We've seen in recent years inexperienced teams, even though they have a ton of talent, not necessarily the best options in postseason play in the NCAA tournament. We saw it last year with Kentucky, so much talent on their roster, but couldn't get out of the first round. They lost in an upset fashion. So we've mentioned that with both of these teams, but now they're playing against each other. So one of these teams has got to win. And I do think Illinois matches up better in this game and plainly is just a better team, in my opinion. Both of these teams have the one loss to a solid opponent. Illinois lost to Alabama in a semi-road game. Arkansas lost to Baylor in a neutral site game. Both of those losses, neither of the teams covered in its dogs. But for me, it's fundamentally Arkansas struggling in the offensive glass, not really getting to the free throw line much. Shot quality-wise, just not as good as Illinois to start the season. Illinois, both of these teams are coming off blowout wins in their last games. But Illinois crushed a top 200 Little Rock team. It's actually been playing quite well this season, 92-34. It goes to show you what that talent can do. I think in this game we see the Illinois just too much in this one for Arkansas. I'm really on both ends of the court. I'm going to go with Illinois in this game and lay the points. Next up, we have Ole Miss and BYU. This one's going to be 5:30 Eastern on Fox Sports 1. I've mentioned in recent games and recent days on the Bank Shop Breakdown, I don't love backing teams that haven't played, too tough of a schedule to start the season now in these neutral site tournaments or in true road games. In their first situation, it's just really tough when you're not battle tested. BYU has played one of the weakest schedules in Division I college basketball to start the year, ranked 363rd in strength of schedule. 5 home games against Central Arkansas, UC Riverside, Queens, Idaho, and Mississippi Valley State. Really, none of those games tell us too much in terms of what BYU will actually be this season. But for me, I still think that BYU is flying under the radar, and just in terms of their preseason projections, and I think BYU is a team to watch out for this season in the Big 12 and beyond. Talent-wise, we know this team has it. This is a very deep roster. It plays a lot of its bench throughout the game. It has an NBA lottery pick caliber player in Yegor Demon. And I think just BYU, I view this game as just a chance to get them on the cheap as Ole Miss is ranked in the AP polls. They're off to a solid start to the year. They have a 5-0 record. They took down Colorado State. They played not an amazingly tough schedule, but a little bit, more battle tested, you could say. They had that neutral site game against Colorado State. But for me, I just think BYU is the better team. I think they deserve to be in the AP polls. And like I said, I think we're going to get a discount price with BYU right now. I don't think we're going to get these prices in conference play and later in non-conference play. So give me BYU in this one. I'm going to lay the points. And the final game we're to talk about for the Thursday card in college basketball, it's Arizona State and New Mexico. This one's 11:30 Eastern, a late game on True TV. Another neutral site game, and this one should be a fun game. Arizona State, they had that close game against Gonzaga. They didn't win that game, but covered the spread with these. They have the nice win against Grand Canyon. They were actually dogging that one. They put together a solid start to the season, but for me, I just don't think they match up well in this one. And I think New Mexico's played a tough schedule themselves. They have the neutral site win over UCLA. They played that game at St. John's. They were kind of out of it early on, but really battled the entire way. They were competitive in the second half, and if they were able to make a few more shots, they had plenty of open looks in that game. They could have made it even more interesting. But for me, the reason I say I don't think this is a great matchup for the Sun Devils is New Mexico's the fastest team in college basketball. They're also one of the more aggressive teams defensively speaking. They're forcing a turnover about 25% of their defensive possessions. That's a big problem for me for Arizona State. It's turning the ball over about 19% of their possessions, ranked 219th in the country. It's also just an Arizona State team that, for me, relying a little bit too much on low percentage shots. They're taking a lot of contested threes, and you're just not great shots, in my opinion. They're not a great offensive rebounding team, so they're not getting those second chance looks. I just think that New Mexico matches up really well in this game. Both teams are battle tested, but I like New Mexico in this particular matchup. I'm going to take the Lobos and lay the points to end the night. And that's it. Those are the games for Thursday in college hoops. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe. And don't forget to put your college basketball picks in the comment section below. Again, if you're looking for my best bets, you can find those at Pick Dawgz Premium. As always, this is Romanelli. Good luck.